an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
Thou shalt not ask a man to do anything twice. Simply ask another man and make it known that you will.
Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females made you just to trick me, trick me, trick me, trick me. 'Cause baby.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Never Date Just One, sis. It is your host, Arthur China T, Coach Erica. And today is to give a recap on the first date that I just had. And I want to actually show y'all how we do the roster so that you know how to do it moving forward. Right now, the roster, it had been completely empty. The options that were there removed. You know, the closed chapter part. I told you, we don't spin no blocks. We don't give second chance. We give people one chance to get things right the first time. They don't get it right the first time. There is no reason for me to let you show me who you are again when I've already seen what I needed to see. You know what I'm saying? So I don't spin a block. All I do is close you off and keep moving. So right now, the person that is going on the roster is going to be the first on the new roster. Because again, the roster is clear. There is still a potential, but we haven't made it a concrete decision as if they will move forward. So, but this person now has moved forward to the roster. So I want to definitely go through the roster and do the first date roster to show you how this will end and get to the next active roster, okay? But first, I just wanted you to see the jumpsuit. This is what I wore to the first date. Very sexy. You know, it leaves a lot to the imagination. We definitely don't want to put everything out there, but as you can see, we gave some cleavage for the sexiness. We gave some form fitting for you to be able to see, and then you leave everything else to that man's imagination. We're not going to see through clothes, and we're not going to expose everything. We're just giving them what it could be, if it ever gets there. And it definitely did what it was supposed to do. So what we're going to be going into now is a first date tracker. This is going to be able to let us know if the person even moves to the roster. Remember, you're going to have picked up on certain things in your first date. Again, you make sure you have your boundaries set, your standards, okay? And you also know what your needs are so that you're able to convey them to the person as well as listen for them to tell you what their needs are. Make sure that you're listening with your eyes and your ears, observing everything that you need to observe. You want a man that is giving you his full attention on this date. You don't want somebody that keeps looking at their phone or got their phone turned over. Even though we don't care about what they got going on, you are the prize. You have all their attention. And if you don't have all their attention, then we already can tell where this might not go to a second date. He's too distracted. You don't want somebody that's too distracted unless it's been distracted about some money to help y'all grow. We need all of your attention in this date, okay? So this is our roster, the first date tracker, as you can see. So let's go ahead and start filling in. So the name, for this particular, we're going to say CF, okay? Those are like the initials, okay? So where did you meet? We met at, it was during the Florida Classic at a R&B event, okay? You got to try to, you're going to make your own roster outside of the book. I'm just showing you what it'll be. Just try to be descriptive as you can. So we met during the Florida Classic weekend at an R&B event, okay? And that was on Saturday night, which was 11/23, okay? All right. So how long did we talk? Well, that's a very good question. That first night, we chatted a little bit inside of the event, but then we left around the same time. We chatted outside. So that first initial conversation probably was about 10 minutes, okay? And at the end of that conversation, he asked me, can he have my social media? Because he himself didn't know if he was my type. And, some guys will not know how to ask you on the first date because they're afraid of rejection. So we talked for 10 minutes, and at the end of that, he wanted to connect with me on social media, so I connected with him on Facebook, okay? And then after we connected on Facebook, he sent me a message. So we're going to say first connection. If you want to add it in, you can put phone or whatever. So the first connection was actually Facebook. And once we talked once we had a few times in the Facebook, then that's when it came about, ask me on a date. So who initiated the date? CF did. I told CF, I have already explained to CF that I was vegan. I had already gave him an example of restaurants that he can go to, for us to be able to enjoy ourselves where I can eat and he can eat as well. He listened to what I said. So he chose the first place. Okay. How high are my expectations? On a scale of 1 to 10, because I'm vegan and sometimes I kind of don't place the responsibility of a man learning how to feed somebody who's vegan, because a lot of men are so skilled. When they hear vegan, they automatically think that, I don't know, y'all, it's weird, y'all. I can't really explain it, but I never really place that responsibility on men because I know I'm vegan, I know how I eat, and I know I won't eat everywhere, so I can prevent cross-contamination. So my expectations for this was a little relaxed only because of the vegan part. So I probably gave an expectation on a scale of 1 to 10. I probably had about a 6.5. Not because he wasn't the best man, but because I needed to see how he was going to do with choosing the location for us. And then what to wear. Well, I didn't choose what to wear until the night of because it's cold out. So I had to make sure the temperature didn't change, because on Thanksgiving it was warm and today is not. So I didn't choose what to wear until the night of. So I did that. So I wore, as y'all can see, the blue jumpsuit. Okay. Now, here's the day of the date. Okay. See this? It says date. All right. So let's talk about the date. The date was today. The date, 11/30. 7 days after the day that we met. Okay. You see how soon this was? Because when people have intentions to take you with them and wherever they want to do, or they want to really, bring you into their life and learn you, they're not going to take 800 years to ask you on this date. Y'all gonna have y'all initial conversation when y'all meet. Y'all gonna have another initial conversation on the phone, which we had 2, one on FaceTime and one on the phone. I think we had 2 on FaceTime, okay? Which was solidifying, our plans for the weekend. But it wasn't too much communication, because you don't want to do that from the beginning, because sometimes I told her y'all be talking too much. Y'all be bringing up things that should not be brought up in those first conversations. Leave that stuff to dinner and dumb it down, okay? So, 11:30 was the date that the date was chose. The location. Well, he chose Crest Chop House. Crest Chop House is a fine dining restaurant that serves vegan and non-vegan cuisine. So that's what he chose. He made a reservation, and that's what we chose. That was definitely a lot. Kudos to him for that. The activity was dinner and talk. So dinner and talking. Okay. Physical attraction on a scale of 1 to 10. The physical attraction for me right now is probably going to be about a 7. It's still new. I don't really necessarily be attracted to people from the beginning, because I really be having to know who these people are, and honestly need to know, how they're going to add to my life. So while y'all physical attraction meter may be through the roof, I don't look at physical attraction. I look at the best man for me. So right now, 7. Was it fun? Yes, the date was fun. It was very relaxing. It was very rewarding, and I was able to learn a lot on this date. So on a scale of 1 to 10, was it fun? I'm going to give this a 9. Okay. Who paid? CF. Was there any level of awkwardness? On the scale of 1 to 9, 1 being the lowest, there was no awkwardness. On a scale of 1 to 10 for wanting to leave, the answer is no. And now I'll give that a 1. Did you kiss? Yes, that was the first kiss. Okay. Did you have sex? No. This is where y'all gonna start noticing y'all patterns, because for those who thinking that you're having sex on the first night and it's not gonna change nothing, it does, because it shows a pattern of negative behavior, and that you can't possibly love yourself if you think laying down with somebody on the first night that hasn't shown you anything is gonna lead to anywhere but trouble that you don't want. Your mood after the date. 1 to 10, I want to say a 10. It was very relaxing in that date. Very relaxing. Did you talk afterwards? Yes, we've already texted. Who reached out first? CF. Did you plan a second date? Yes. It's already been planned. Do you want to move into the roster? Yes. CF is going officially to the roster. We have done that. And that is the best thing. That's how you determine if the person after the first date is gonna move. So let's run back through this again. We got the name. Where did you meet? Date when we met. How long were we first talking? And I added in first connection. Who initiated the date? Who chose the place and activity? How high are my expectations? What to wear? When the actual date happened? The place that we went for the date, the location, the activity, the physical attractiveness. Was it fun? Who paid? The awkward level. Did I want to leave? Did we kiss? Did we have sex? My mood after the date? Have we talked after the date? Who reached out first? Was the second date planned? And am I moving him to the roster? While I was on this date, I also expressed my needs and how I operate when it comes to the phone and text messages, and in a place where he can understand, because I know a lot of people rely on phones and text messages, especially a lot of men. That's how they pull a lot of y'all into their emotional trap, and y'all become emotionally dependent on them because you have did too much talking and texting. And I have already laid the groundwork. I will not be doing that at all. I will call every now and then. I will text here and there, but I will not rely on any type of phone communication for him to try to learn me, for us to be able to progress in this. Because in order for you to be with me, you have to be in person. I have to be able to see you, read your body language, be able to look for the nonverbal cues, listen and observe with my eyes and my ears. That is my standard. So far, he's lived up to it because he actually understands that I am not a phone person. And he's willing to compromise. If that was his expectation at the dinner table after he listened to me, he always immediately made a compromise. We also talked about his needs because I had already addressed that in a previous conversation. I wanted him to know and be able to verbalize to me what were his needs. This is something that he had not done before, so he was unable to get his needs fulfilled. I want to be able to make sure that whatever your needs are, that I can fulfill them. And if they're not, then we can cut ties. So he had needs that were definitely understandable, and they could be fulfilled as we move through at the time. I told him the things that I like to do, fun dates, things of that nature. He listened to that. I also learned more about his job, learned how much money he's making and things of that nature, gave him motivation, encouragement, and then, basically told him, set a tone for if we move forward in the future, how this will look in terms of the salary and relocation for, promotions and things of that nature. So a lot of things was learned on the first date. That's what you need to, because again, you're making an informed decision if this person's going to go on your roster or if this person serves better as a homeboy than a lover. That is what the roster is for. Everybody will not move to the roster after that first date. You won't see an alignment. And if there is no alignment, there is no need for you to waste your time, because it's always going to boil down to, can this man or whomever you choose to be with, can they meet your needs? And if there's been any type of discord on this first date from the conversation, if this person was self-absorbed in their phone and doing all those things, all you would do is take note of that, and you would jot it down on your roster when you come home, and you will make a decision if you want to move forward. Because now you're making an informed decision. Sometimes y'all just move forward with red flags that pop up and you're thinking it's going to change. And then 6 months, a year later, nothing has changed. Stop doing that. Okay? You got to stop giving people time and chances to show you who they are over and over again. As I said, the people who I took off the roster can't come back. Once you're off the roster, once you're even out of the lineup to be on a roster, there is no spin the block, come back. I do not do that, because how dare I keep giving you chances, which means I lessen the chance that I can give a man that actually wants to do it right the first time. That's why I don't give chances. You only have one chance. That's it. If you cannot show me anything in that one chance, why do you think I'm going to move with you to another level for you to show me what you already showed me? It's not happening. And if you're that type of girl who gives, or that type of woman who give chance after chance for a man to keep showing you who he is because you're thinking one day he'll change, stop today. They only have one opportunity. If they don't take the opportunity to heart and get serious about it, what are you doing? It's never going to change. All you're going to do is just continue to hurt your own feelings. So that is an example of how you move down a roster after your first date. As we continue this journey, other first dates will pop up and we will continue to do this active roster again. We're trying to find the best man for you, the best man for me. One great first date does not mean it's the best man for me. What it does means that we can move on to the roster and continue this journey. That's it. This is Coach Erica. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. And I will see you on our next session.